All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to DRDQ. This Pseudoregalia Q popping in for some 100% full gold. I am Jaxler. I'm going to be one of your runners. If the rest of y'all would like to introduce yourselves.
Yep, I'm killingpepsi. I am the other runner.
I'm LaurieDBunnykins, and I'm going to be commentating these two.
Yeah, so this is the first time that we're showing... Well, actually, no, that's not true, because you just ran this at PAX West. But we're going to be showing off 100% full gold, the out-of-bounds route. We're actually going to be showing off like the two major branches of the route too in this race, so get to see a little bit of everything. This is my favorite category. I'm super excited to share it with you. We're all super excited. This is such a cool run. Laurie, would you? Well, first of all, Pepsi, you ready to go?
Oh yeah.
All right. So we're gonna normally we start time on first input, but since this is a race, we're gonna start on file select. So Laurie, would you count us in from 5 and start us on go?
Sure thing. Start your files in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. My bad, I delayed a little bit there.
You're good.
But
good luck.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for those who have never seen this game, I think Jaxler's favorite pitch is this game is like if Castlevania 64 was good. It's got that kind of early 3D aesthetic going on, and it is a very compact Metroidvania, as you can probably see by like the half hour in which we're going to 100% it. But there's still a lot of stuff to do. It's just the fact that we can do it really fast.
Yeah, so first thing we're going to pick up here is the Dreambreaker. This is our primary weapon for the run. You're going to notice us do a lot of 2-hit combos, and then instead of waiting for the third hit to come out, we just reset the attack string. The third hit of our attack has a lot of end lag, so we're going to try to be avoiding using it whenever possible. And then coming up, we're going to be seeing the first instance of a major tech called gainer jumps. A gainer is a backflip that sends you forward, and you can do that by holding forward and then turning back quickly to initiate a skid animation. If you input jump during that, you get a backflip. And then if you redirect forward during the backflip instead redirects forward, giving you the gainer input. And so we do one on that cage right there in order to reach a ledge that we can't otherwise. But it's important that we bring that up now because it's going to be really foundational for the movement tech that we're going to see once we get our second major Metroidvania upgrade here. So...
Yeah, so this game kind of has two big movement upgrades that are like two of the most important ones in the whole run. In any percent, they're the only two movement abilities we pick up at all. The first one here is the slide. Something important to note as we pick up the slide is that at this point in the game, it's usually not able to be jump canceled. However, it's getting very jump canceled right now. If one of you wants to explain what you're doing to get this much speed immediately.
Yeah, so there's two things we're kind of doing right at the start. We're doing platform slide cancels where we our slide is fastest at the start and tapers off in speed over time. And so if you interrupt the start of the slide animation, so on my screen, for example, I did it off a ledge, you get to maintain that speed into air, and we can bunny hop to continue to preserve it. We're also going to be doing something a lot called a slide ultra, which is where you do a jump cancel at the end of your slide so that you can do a gainer. And gainers will actually preserve any speed that you have going into them. So it allows us to get a lot of height really quickly. And so we can use that, for example, right there to sequence break backwards through underbelly to get ascendant light early, which is going to be our next major stop here. Laurie, do you want to explain the farming we're going to do here?
Yes, so in the top left, you can see that you have like a bar that fills up as you hit things. Kind of similar to Hollow Knight, you can get the charge and then spend it on a heal. But there is an upgrade we're going to get later where we deal more damage if that bar is full. And that place is really good to farm because since you're bouncing against the ceiling, you can hit the enemies very repeatedly, very quickly. And it's also possible to hit 2 of them at once, so you get the bar from both of them and you charge your magic power pretty fast.
Yeah, so we can use some of the momentum from these platforms as well to get extra speed. And you don't have to do a slide to get these ridiculous, like, whenever you see like that yellow after image appear when we do like a big backflip, that means that we're taking like a lot of speed and preserving it into the midair. And so we're gonna do a couple of things on the way back here. We're gonna grab a small key on the way back. We're going to use that later, as well as a heart piece called House Heart Piece that we're going to grab along the way back, just because it's the most convenient time to do so. Laurie, would you go into what exactly we need to do for, or like what exactly full gold 100 is?
Yes, so there are 10 major movement abilities, 7 minor upgrades, some of them with multiple like stacks of them we need to collect. And then there's 16 health pieces that we need to collect. Notably, there are 16 health pieces, but you get a health upgrade every 3. So there's just kind of an extra one that we do consider as part of the 100% run. We also obviously do need to collect the 5 major keys to beat the game. And we do need to also collect the 1 optional costume that's in this patch. This is full gold. This is not the most recent version of the game that you would be playing if you just bought it on Steam right now. It does not have the in-game map, and there is not a time trial in every area that grants you a costume upon completion. The reason we're running on it is because the ultras that you've been seeing all throughout the run are not as powerful on that patch of the game, and it can be harder to do a lot of tricks because you can't get as much height as you need.
Yeah, that ultra I did right there. For example, they actually updated the geometry there so that you can't do tower ruins. Thank goodness. That ultra... Oh, okay, game sucks. So we're kind of doing a bit of a route divergence here. You saw Killing Pepsi go out of the way to get helical power early. I'm going to be getting that a bit later on with an out of bounds sequence. There's kind of 2 major schools of thought to routes in this game called early solar wind and late solar wind, and then variations of those exist. And it kind of centers around whether you do an early trip to the area called Empty Bailey or you save it for the very end of the run. Killing Pepsi is going to be going to Bailey early. I'm going to be going late. And so it's going to look like we're doing almost like kind of 2 completely different things. And that's kind of because we are. So it might be a little bit like hard to tell where the race is in terms of like who's ahead, who's behind. But we really like showing off both routes because there are some things that you can only do with solar wind, and there's some things you can only do without solar wind. So it's really 2 different kind of ways of going about it, and it's really sick.
Yeah, and on this tower climb here especially, you're already seeing Pepsi, just with that 1 air kick to stall in the air for extra momentum, do so many jumps that Jaxler just like couldn't to get the Cling Gem, which the Cling Gem is the other of those 2 abilities I mentioned that are just super broken in the run.
Yeah, so we can do something here called wall cling regrabs, where you can wall cling into a 90-degree corner like that, and then re-cling the same wall in order to gain height. You have 6 charges of your wall cling before you're forced to touch down again. And so if you make use of that aerial resource, you can do some really hilarious things. Like I can do it around the corner bend just like that. And so again, it might look like I'm ahead or maybe Killing Pepsi's ahead. It's going to be really hard to tell until almost kind of towards the end of the run, because the segment that Killing Pepsi is doing, which has some really dang cool movement, you'll see some wall cling regrabs on his end as well. I'm going to be doing that at the end of the run, as opposed to KP who's doing that right at the start. And so we're going to see it in a moment, because I'm going to be heading to library first out of the 2 of us. Laurie, would you go into what a cling clip is?
Yeah, so a Cling Clip, we just explained why the Cling Clip is, or the Cling Gem rather, is so good, just kind of for navigation, just like the amount of airtime it gives, but it has another more unintended property that we're going to see Jaxler perform the first of many in the run in just a moment, and that is a Cling Clip. Before we do the Cling Clip, Jaxler will be grabbing the Sun Greaves here, which gives 3 of those air kicks that Pepsi already has 1 of, and Pepsi now has the Solar Wind, so you can see the automatic slide jumping. But Jaxler is going to clip through this table.
I'll take second.
Pretty much if you cling like exactly into a corner that also has a ledge, it's a bit conditional, and I'm not 100% sure every condition, but you can cling and then press against the corner, and the game trying to like figure out which wall you're trying to cling to will push you into the other one.
Also, we didn't something we didn't mention, the bid war.
Yeah, so I think it's just no pants, right? Just double checking.
Yes, it is no
Okay,
pants.
good. We didn't beef it. We kind of just went straight into the run, but thank you all so much for donating. Just crazy to see the amount of support for this game. It's just awesome. That was gold. Nice.
Or is unlocked.
Even
I hear no pants makes you go faster, right?
Yes.
it is very slightly faster because you don't have the menu.
And speaking of the thing we donated for, now is a great time for one or two donations if you have a chance.
Oh, absolutely. We have $25 from Shredberg, who says, sometimes I'm at a restaurant and I'll order a Coke. And I'll ask, is Pepsi okay? And I have to say no, because Killing Pepsi is the GOAT.
Thank you, Shredberg.
We have $10 from Mr. Gamechout, who says, pants are a menace. I can't do the Jameson as well, but I did my best for your shout. And then a couple of notes here as well. We have 3 new incentives open. We have the Yin versus Yang bid war. Choose between the Yin and Yang phase route and the Yang phase route Yin and Yang for the Quan run. Payday 3 costume choice bid war. Choose the costume worn by the players for the Payday 3 run. And then Payday 3 upgrade final level difficulty to overkill. If met, the runners will take on the final level of the Payday 3 run on overkill difficulty. So I have to ask y'all, now please sell me on this game. Why should I pick this game up exactly?
Okay, so first of all, this game's only $6 on Steam. Like, first of all, it's got this game's movement, if we haven't already proven it to you, is just so sick. It's so dynamic and versatile, and you can combo moves in any which way that you want to. And there's really broken stuff that you can do it in too. Laurie, can you cover how I'm getting helical power here?
All right, so using a cling clip, Jaxler is going to go through this small gap here, and is going to show off the first T-Tech of the run, where he's going to unfull screen and re-full screen the game to force it to lag a little bit. When you're out of bounds in this game, there's a lot of like these semi-solid walls where it wants you to clip back in bounds because you're out of bounds at the moment, but it's still a wall, so it's kind of fighting a little bit. But with that lag, you can just kind of go through the semi-solid walls and just get right through anything you want, no problem. And then, so Jackson used that to fall down a very far. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. There's a part of the skip here where you have to dodge a checkpoint, and Jaxler didn't.
I did not dodge the checkpoint. I am not super certain how I back this up. Oh wait, no, oh god, I'm gonna have to do like the worst backup of all time, probably. Okay.
No, I don't know the route.
Yeah, no, this is rough. I will see if I can back this up.
I'm a believer.
So this is a cling clip I learned how to do in rando. I'm not great at it, but
Oh my god, found that once too. It's so good.
I'm gonna give this a couple of tries, and if not, I'm just going to have to completely improvise. That is not something I expected, so you know what? We'll live. We'll totally be fine. Right?
Yeah, we'll be fine. As you figure out your backup, though, we have another very important skip in the run happening on Pepsi's end. Pepsi's about to be heading into the underbelly as well, except back from the way we entered it at the start of the game. And this is to get the other big upgrade in this area called Martial Prowess, which is just a simple damage upgrade. It's not too, impactful, but the way that we get there is, as you're about to see, a bit of a trip.
I really beefed this one. I think my best option is just to go back, honestly. This is gonna put me a bit behind, but it is what it is. I didn't hit the save crystal. I missed it on the way, so we'll just backtrack. It's not a huge deal.
Got the skip.
Yeah, so the
a little rough, but
the Martial Prowess skip is just like a large out of bounds navigation followed by trying to avoid another checkpoint in order to warp back at the top of the area, so we can just like go right back through and continue using Dilapidated Dungeon to get to Twilight Theater, which Pepsi's about to be going into kind of the nightmare area of any category of this game.
We're sweating a little bit. We'll be fine. Probably.
Best of luck.
Got the good cycle here. Perfect. I see that before I.
So now I'm kind of back to where I need to be. So that was a little bit of a rough detour. I should have just committed to that, unfortunately. But yeah, there was a checkpoint I was trying to dodge. I'm honestly not sure why how I hit the checkpoint. I'm gonna be super real, but it's all good. I got to show off the strat. That's a strat that was so one of the reasons that I have to do it like that is that because I did not go to Empty Bailey right away. I actually didn't get the small key that's there, so you kind of need to do that strat right there in order to clip out anyway. Oh my goodness, game, please give me something. This game's great, I swear. I'm just a little salty.
Genuinely one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
like top 2, maybe.
It's really good, except when the game doesn't do exactly what I tell it to. But there we go, we're back. We're so back, actually.
Yeah, so
let's go.
I believe this is finally the first point in the run. No, Pepsi has already picked up a major key, but I believe that is Jaxler's first.
Yeah, I'm gonna be collecting another one here real quick. Yeah, so you're supposed to have Sunsetter right there to break those ground pound tiles, but I don't really care. You can just... With clean clips, anything is possible.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah, now I'm going into a really hard segment here.
We have two really hard out-of-bounds segments going on at the same time here.
No! Oh, okay. I didn't get stuck where I usually do. I just flew right off. Yeah, no checkpoint. I got a backup, though.
To try and explain both of these quickly, Pepsi is currently going back out of bounds in Twilight Theater here. You need to hit these 3 switches all around the center stage area to unveil the major key in the center. But there's also this major upgrade called the Soul Cutter that Pepsi is currently trying to grab by clipping in and then back out of the room in order to...
Please. Oh, that screen's awful. So sorry.
Oh, good. No worry.
Go through the... Okay, T-Tech. There we go.
So, meanwhile, on Jaxler's end, Jaxler clipped through a sloped corner that you're usually supposed to slide under that corner, and then use the out-of-bounds navigation to make it to the outside of the throne room.
There we go.
That has the major key in Sansa Keep. And from there, he was able to reach the side of the room, clip through a window to make it into the major key room, and then use another clip to get back out.
And so I'm going to be picking up Sunsetter. One of the interesting things that makes this my route a bit more interesting is that well, for one, I don't have Solar Wind, so I can't slide jump. But we get Sunsetter pretty early in this route, as opposed to Pepsi, who will probably get it right at the end of the run. And it has this really interesting property where you can actually cancel out of a plunge midair by hitting left, basically doing a backflip input. And so because of that, that's another aerial resource that I have at my disposal that I can kind of work in. Oh, I gotta grab this. That would be a funny way to invalidate my run, is just forget this one.
I wouldn't have known.
There we go. So I'm going to be heading through theater next, and then KP is going to be going through Upper Castle Sansa next, I believe.
Yes.
So there's going to be one clip. Are you going for the clip there, or do you not do it in this route?
I have not learned it.
All right, never mind then. So honestly, Laurie, this would probably be a good time for donations, right? I'm not crazy?
Yeah, this would be a good time for donations.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I just want to make sure I wasn't reading during a lot of these intense clips y'all are doing. By the way, you all are doing so well with this, so keep it up. We have $25 from Sleepyhead, who says, I'm a Western North Carolina native whose hometown was devastated by Helene. Thank you to Direct Relief, GDQ, the runners, the viewers, and everyone else involved in helping with the relief efforts. You're welcome. We're happy to be doing this. And thank you so much again for your donation. We have $10 from Sly Dante. No comment, but thank you very much for your donation. And also, you may say, I have to do this pun, I'm sorry. You may say Pepsi is killing it right now. I'm seeing so much action going on right now between both of these runners, but had to mention Pepsi because the pun was in there as well. So I have to get in on this lore. So Pepsi, where did your name come from exactly? Do you just really like the alternatives to Pepsi, or is there a story behind this?
Oh, man. So, let me, hold on.
No, you're good.
Okay,
You're good.
In 2002, on MapleStory, my neighbor had that name, and then he used it for like everything. And then he changed it to something else I don't remember. And he's like, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And that's it. 20 years later.
I find that
Oh,
funny.
so you also stole a username. That's crazy. Because that's where mine comes from. I stole someone's Minecraft username off my school bus.
What? Wait. Are you saying your name could be used by somebody else out there in the nether because you took it from someone?
Yeah, no, the best part is, like, after the fact, my brother told the guy. He narked on me, and I'm like, dude, why would you do that?
Oh my gosh.
You're making me throw. All right.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I think the best lore story I heard so far is one of my friends, like, slammed their hands down on their keyboard and just whatever name resulted ended up being his name. So I don't know if y'all have heard any other names. I have to admit, though, I really like the I took it from somebody on the bus. That one's up there.
That is a wild story. Also, this is one of my favorite tricks in the run. Jaxler just T-Tex through the ceiling.
It's great, yeah.
There's no setup to it. The pole is just a little bit out of bounds, so it doesn't look like weirdly cut off in bounds. And because of that, you can just T-Tech through the sloped ceiling while climbing.
So Laurie, while we're kind of going through here, one of the things that is kind of interesting about like solar wind versus no solar wind is the whole like glide hopping as well as knee sliding stuff. Would you mind going into that and kind of like what the differences are between solar wind and regular slide?
Yes, so the big difference that you have probably been seeing throughout the run with the solar wind versus no solar wind is the sort of trade-off that comes with how you get speed versus how you get height. Where the whole run, Jaxler has been doing knee slides into glide hops, which are these like pretty tricky inputs. You have to get a pretty specific input where you press jump and slide at the same time during another slide in order to get a knee slide where there's kind of two slides happening at once, and when the first one ends, you start mounting up onto your knees, and you can jump out of that for the glide hops. Meanwhile, all Pepsi has to do is press A while sliding to get the full speed solar wind. However, the part where Jaxler's kind of benefit of the trade-off comes in is in ultras, where you can do a slide ultra to give yourself pretty much the most height you can in a single motion with very little space and time. You just have to do a slide and then do the ultra input where you turn around, start the skid, and then do your gainer input. Meanwhile, to get a solar ultra hop, you have to do that gainer input out of a solar wind jump, which means that getting height can sometimes require a lot of space that you don't always have. So there's kind of trade-offs to both. I would say no solar wind is definitely the more technically harder on the hands and just on the inputs for a bit more control over certain aspects of your movement. Well, solar wind makes certain movement a lot easier than others at the kind of downside of sometimes you don't have the space to do certain tricks that you do without it. Speaking of certain tricks, Jaxler is clipping out of bounds in the upper castle here to just fall all the way down to the bottom, which is another one of my favorite tricks in the run because it just looks so cool.
Oh, come on. Yes. Oh no, I suck. Oh. Well, I got to do the out of bounds again, now. But this is a quick one, so it's not that big of a deal.
I said it was one of my favorites.
Yeah, sorry I ruined one of your favorite strats for you. But it's
Well, no, I get to see it again.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So, Laurie, I got a question for you. Did you say a gainer input or a gamer input? I want to make sure.
Again, the forward back.
Okay, because it sounded like a gamer input. I'm like,
These are gamer
really
inputs.
This game is really hard. Every input in this game is a gamer input.
Yeah.
This is a great game. We've talked about playing it. If you haven't, please do. $6 on Steam. Super cheap, super fun. If you do eventually want to run this game, I will say, it's really hard to just kind of get in. Like, a lot of the movement might take a lot of time to get down just initially. So if you're looking at this run and thinking you want to learn it yourself, my message to you is don't give up, because you might want to when you like just get started. It's really worth it.
Something I would also recommend as well, start on the map patch, actually. Start on the release patch, because it generally tends to be a bit more forgiving. Okay, so I told KP I was going to go for this strat, so I'm going to go for it because...
let's do it.
Oh, I think I got it second try. Okay, so there's the first part.
Amazing.
Need an ultra. And then something called reverse wall kicks to get up top. Nice, now we're out of bounds. Let's freaking go.
The greatest
I got it. Well, not the greatest to ever do it. That would be outlier, but...
True.
That's true. All right, and while Jaxler is heading out of bounds to get close to the end of the game, we have Pepsi heading to the end of the game now. So...
this probably would have been a lot closer if I didn't have that, like, crazy weird
checkpoint issue,
but...
If we go back, I would probably be able to tell you where it messed up, but it's, like, super finicky.
Yeah. I probably know what happened, but it's all good.
So I mentioned at the very start when I was talking about what 100% entails in this game, that there are 5 major keys that you need to collect to access the final boss. The 5th one is just right at the top of the tower remains, which is also, hey, where the door that the major keys open is. So Pepsi's going to be heading into the final boss fight here. Pepsi, do you want to explain the fight yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So right away, we're going to go through this door, enter an eerie hallway, and then fall down into the boss arena. I'm going to try to snag 2 quick hits. So one of the abilities we have earlier, Ascendant Light, lets us pogo off enemies and stuff. I'm going to try to do that to stall in the air and get an extra hit. See if it works. Yep. Okay, that's fine. And from here, she is just completely random. We are reacting to what she does. That was amazing. How did she do that? What, she, like, teleported and swung at the same time? Okay, this is not normal. She's giving me mean patterns. But yeah, from that first hit, we're just reacting. So I'm going to try to do a bunch of strike breaks, which are, hold the attack button and swing. Those do a lot of damage. Okay. We're halfway through the fight now. That plate break sound effect. I'll just give a yell when time comes up. It'll be probably like 10 seconds. If I get good attacks, I won't die. Okay. Time.
GG's. Good run.
Nice job.
That was a rough fight, but...
Yeah, you lived.
Yeah.
2 health.
Princess loves teleporting all over the place and not being reachable with how fast you can go before she goes away again. So...
Nice, got that ultra.
And I will mention, when we're talking about routes, the route that I do is kind of just a branch of like the starting routes that we've developed over time. It's much easier because the knee slides are much more difficult to consistently pull off for like 20 extra minutes almost.
Yeah.
So if you're learning Hundo, like I would start with...
Start with early Solar Wind, please. That's the other thing too, is it's kind of like a matter of our play styles as well, because like I love to go for like the risky flashy stuff that can lose me a lot of time, but it's hype and it is fast. Whereas like if you want to go for like the consistency and like, execution type game plan, then like early Solar Wind is really good for that, and it also gives you access to another glitch called Moon Kicks, which I don't know if we saw during the run, but I can try to show that off while I'm finishing up here. I don't usually go for them here, but it would be funny. There we go, nice.
Reverses are so smart there and so fast.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So if you do your solar wind like slide jump, you have like a brief window where you're in like moon gravity, for lack of a better term, and you can actually chain that moon gravity for an extended duration if you interrupt the like the end of the follow through animation with your air kick. And so you can do that with all 4 of your air kicks. And I also did something called a reverse wall kick there, which is where you kick away from the wall while moving towards it. And that sends your air kick straight into the air as opposed to like away from the wall. So it's kind of a swag strat there at the end. That is, I guess, technically faster, but it's also really hard. We'll see how nice Princess is to me here.
Yeah, that big orb does like 2.5 damage. But if you hit it, it doesn't do any damage. So you try to hit that or avoid it because it would knock you back and send your sword flying. Okay, so.
All right, I'm at halfway, so time will be coming up for me soon. Fine. Nice.
GG.
All right, still came in underestimate.
Let's go.
Got some
GG.
golds in there though, so we take those. But yeah, that was Pseudoregalia 100% full gold. We got to show off both routes. Sorry that the checkpoint thing happened on my end, but still a good race. Good times, good vibes. I'll just go ahead and say on behalf of the Pseudoregalia community, thank you so much to GDQ and everyone for having us. I just like this game is so freaking awesome. I've got to run this a bunch of times at GDQ now, and it's like I just love sharing this game with people. Again, this game is like $6 on Steam. Please pick it up. It's worth every penny. It's so damn good. And if you're interested in learning the game, there's a lot of great resources on YouTube from Willbun and Pace Proxy, for example, on some movement guides. So check those out. We're also in the general Pseudoregalia / like Ritz's dev Discord server. We have a bunch of speedrun channels there. So check us out there if you want to try learning how to do the run, or you want to try randomizer or anything like that. Go check us out. Pepsi, did you have any community shout-outs you want to give?
Just a general shout out to everyone for being really awesome. The Hundo community especially is very dedicated to making the run as sick as possible, which is really awesome.
Yeah, shout outs to Willbun, who basically created the route that I went for, as well as Thulius, Yashichi, and Mads Brutal as well. And basically anyone who's touched Hundo, shout outs to you. You rock. Also, shout outs to Laurie for killing you on the commentary. Thank you so much for helping us with this.
Thank you.
No problem. I want to thank a few people. Jaxler, you taught me what this game is.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. I also do want to shout out Mads Brutal again, because they run the game a lot for Frame Fatales, which I'm also in that, and it's super cool to see that. Sometimes, like, Frame Fatales, it's really fun to see multiple people running in the same game in there. It's a very, like, tight-knit community, so it's been, like, fun to know that there are multiple people to share this game with. And then I lastly want to shout out, obviously, to Direct Relief and the charities we're supporting. I heard the donation earlier about the person. I believe they said they were in North Carolina. And as somebody who lives currently in the northern end of Georgia, I was very, very fortunate to not be affected too hard by Helene. But there are a lot of people, like literally not even an hour away from me, who had a lot happen. So this is a great cause. Thank you to everyone who put this together so quickly. I think it's truly incredible what we're doing.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for your donations. I guess last thing before we go, follow us on Twitch. The links are somewhere over there. Just find us, and feel free to reach out to us if you need any help learning the game. But yeah, thanks for having us, Sky. Thanks for hosting for us, and GDQ, thank you for having us. Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the Metroidvania block. We got a lot of cool runs coming up. Peace.